Thank you. All right. So welcome to we have a Tuesday night training Zoom that we do for Kim's team every Tuesday. And we always welcome guests to join us. And we are super excited tonight to have Susan Franks, Susan Cameron with us, Kim Gray. Like I was saying just a minute ago, that is such a powerful lineup of ladies that are just crushing this business. So, but we typically start off recognizing people or talking about where in the world Kim will be this week. So Kim, can you unmute and kind of tell us your schedule so people will know where you'll be? So if they have people, in your area, then they can connect the dots and get you in front of people.
Okay, well, guess what, you guys? I'm going on vacation next week. So I will be in Gulf Shores / OBA, Orange Beach, Alabama. I have set aside for Thursday because I do have to go and talk to somebody for another brand partner on Thursday. So if anybody has anybody they want me to talk to, then I will do that for you Thursday. So that's where I'm going to be at Thursday. This coming week is Orange Beach and Gulf Shores.
When do you leave going on vacation, Kim?
In the morning at 9 a.m. and I'll be back Sunday afternoon.
Okay. Got it. All right. Does anybody have anybody that they want to like recognize for ranking up or going ultimate or anything like that? We normally throw that out. And there was some confusion this week. I noticed on I don't know where it came from, but there was a flyer that they had Ed's name as ranking up to something like senior supervisor, but Ed's up for vice president. He's above that rank. So I don't know. Some confusion came about that. But either way, if you have anyone you want to recognize, go ahead and unmute and throw that out.
Hey, David, it's Sonia Infinger here in Huntsville. I just want to.
Hey, Sonia.
Hey, buddy. So glad to be on with everybody. Amanda Yarborough is a new dropper, and she's had her own success, and she has ranked up to ultimate and is selling drops like no tomorrow. So I'm super excited for her going ultimate.
Hey, congratulations. That is a huge, huge deal. And we'll talk about that a little bit tonight too. So that's the first step, getting to ultimate. Yep. Congratulations. Does anybody else have something they want to mention?
We had a lot of rank up. Sorry, this isn't our team, but Letty Madrid was working so hard for her officer promotion. So we're so proud of her. That's always a really huge promotion for anyone that achieves that. So great job, and great job everybody else, but we're really proud of her.
That is really good because officer, one of the big things that I like when I hit officer was I could call and get the elite line so I could get in quicker to rep support. So yeah, congratulations. That's a big deal.
I'm not on there anymore. Wow. So
okay, so the other thing I want to mention, y'all, this happened to our team this week. We caught it, and it's happened in the past with somebody else on Kim on another leg. So I want to mention it so we can maybe head off any problems in the future. But sometimes, points may need to be moved from like over the weekend to the previous week. And so like we did that this week because there was some difficulty getting an order in on Friday to get somebody to ultimate. The order was placed Saturday, so rep support was called Monday morning to have them move those points, and they did. But here's where the problem came in. They also moved the person's subscription or their qualifying order. And so when they do that, it makes that person not qualified for commissions. So we have to be real careful with that. It could happen, I guess, if we didn't catch it, and the person may not earn a commission. So I talked to Kim about it, and if you're on our team, if you would, please, before you move points, before you call corporate to move points, get up with one of the people in your upline that's an officer or above and let them help you. Because I'm not sure where the issues are coming from. It could be somebody at rep support that moved it and didn't check, but we just need to make sure that we're not moving the points that don't need to be moved, because we don't want to mess up anybody's qualification to earn money. That's a big deal. So just going forward, if y'all don't mind, please, please, please do that for us. So with that said, I am so honored. I want to introduce our guest tonight, Miss Susan Frank. I don't think I've ever met you, Susan, but I have admired you when you're speaking on the stages at the events. I always sit back, and one of the first things that caught my attention is how you just, when you set your mind to something, you don't take no. You find a way to make something happen. You know, if there's an obstacle in your way, you find a way to remove the obstacle and get what needs to be done to achieve your goal. And I think I've heard you 2 or 3 times at the bigger conventions and was just blown away with how you go about. I guess it's just your life, not not just this business. So, Susan, would you mind unmuting and just kind of introduce yourself and start off, I guess, by just telling us what brought you to the industry and especially Partner Co.
Absolutely. I have 4 kids, but I had became a new mom. I was praying for something to help us financially so I could be a mom, and this industry found me and I believed in it. My dad was a great entrepreneur and had a side business in this industry when I was a teenager. And I saw him improve our life. I got a car at 16 because he had a side business. I got an amazing prom dress, and I've never been a materialistic, but it's nice when you're 16 to have something to drive. And he took us out, and it was just a real change of lifestyle. So I really believed in the industry, a home-based business. I was excited about that, and it's just been a huge blessing. When I first started, I made more in 3 years than I would have made in 30. Not that everybody does that, but I'm a registered nurse. 30 years of working a nurse or 3 years of helping people make money from home. Like, that is incredible what we have our hands on. And I love that nobody puts a price tag on our back. Nobody says, I don't give anybody a different business than I have. Kim doesn't give anybody a business than she was offered. It's equal opportunity here, and I absolutely love that.
So, I asked around today for, I don't know if you got, I tried to prepare you. I sent questions that some team members came up with. And so I tried to text them to you. I don't know if you received them or not. So I hope you did, to kind of give you a heads up. Is that okay?
Hey, that's absolutely fine. I didn't get the questions, but I guess that's divinely how God wanted it. So there we have it.
Maybe so. I'm
I'm
so
actually
sorry.
at the beach on family vacation. We got here at 4 o'clock. So my kids got out of school last week. And that's the great thing about this business is you can do it from anywhere and you can help bless people from anywhere. So it's just incredible.
And now you just achieved the rank of like chairperson 1. Is that correct?
Yes, and I always say it was me and my team. Amazing.
Right.
Teamwork builds the dream work. And I feel like everybody in this company is a team. Like, we all work together because we all have a common goal. It's to help people get healthy and help people get financially where they want to go. I've had to learn that some people don't want to go as big. Like, some people are fine with a little goal, make it a little bit, and some people want to go big. So whatever people want, helping empower them to go take steps to get to the next level. That's the key, is teaching them how to do it and be successful by not just always leaning, but stepping up to the next level and becoming better and better.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You have to meet people where they are. So when I came up with some questions, I was thinking about how I was just so impressed with how, you know, you find ways to reach your goals, in life, no matter what the obstacles are. I mean, I remember talking about, hearing you talk about the school and your children wanting to go to a certain school. So you like bought land and they said, well, you don't have a house. So you put a camper there and as a house. I mean, who thinks of stuff like that? But that's impressive. So it started me thinking, see, I know your story because I paid attention at the at the conventions. What would you say? Like, we get 3 main objections when we're talking to new people. that are interested in our product or our company, and we're in front of them. And for a new person, you really don't know how to overcome these objections. And even sometimes when you're seasoned, it gets kind of difficult. So the three objections are like that we hear mostly, I feel, is I don't have time to do this. I'm going to take your product, but I don't have time to network it. Or, well, it's just too expensive. I can't do this.
Okay,
the
so
other
if
one is-
somebody goes to the trouble to come up with an excuse, like they just need you to overcome it. If they
Right.
never take out the effort to come up with an excuse, like, no, that's not who you're looking for. But if they went to the effort to come up with the excuse, like they don't have time, like you don't have time to make money.
That's a good point. I like that.
I mean, I talked to a lady earlier today and she's like, well, I'm comfortable. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great. Well, let's go do some kingdom work. Like, do you want to help other people? Like, everybody has a mission. But the amazing thing is, somebody that said they're comfortable, I'm like, hey, would you like to make extra money? And she's like, no, I'm comfortable. Well, by the end of the presentation, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna take the product, and as long as it worked for me, I'm interested. I'm really interested in the business. So some people, when people say, "Oh, well, I'm comfortable," they just like hang it up. Well, most people you have to follow up with 4 times before they ever even purchase. So I know somebody said in the comment in the chat, they said, I want to go big, teach me. Get on self-development. Like, you have to develop yourself, like Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar. There's so many good people that you can listen to. Those are the 2 I really started out with. And I went to the library. I got books. I started listening to audiobooks. I fed my mind with positive things. And the only thing that makes money is getting customers and getting brand partners. So don't get too caught up. And exactly what you guys are doing, like being on the training calls, teach other people, like plug in. It's like a lamp. You have to plug it in for it to shine. You have to plug in and get better and sharpen your skills. And you just got to keep going. So you don't have time. So you don't have time to make money, like question them back. But if they say, what was the second excuse?
Like it's too expensive, or it won't work. Will it work for me? That's the next 2 common
It
ones I hear.
it's science. Like it works 100% of the time. The product works 100% of the time if you take the drops and you follow the food list. Like, it's proven. And does the business side work? Yeah, it works if you work it. Like, how many hours a day are you putting into getting brand partners and getting customers? Like, that's what we get paid for. That I know the buttons asked me about skinny drops. Like, I had a lady today I talked to on the phone. She's on my team. She's like, this button works. Like, somebody asked me, they want the drops. And then you can, hey, you want to make extra money? Well, of course. So it's just a win-win. Well, you have one more excuse that you were going to tell me, but I wanted to address them one at a time so I could remember them.
Okay, all right. Well, the same thing you already asked about, will it work for me? And then the too expensive, about, the price objection. Oh, that's $150. I need to talk to my uncle's cousin's nephew to see if I can afford to do this or something,
Oh, well, that's no problem. You can get the product for free. Like, look with this package, the income you can make. Look with the 10-pack, the income you can make. If money's a problem, let's get you an extra income stream so it's not. Like, what are your financial goals? And turn it back to getting the goals out of them.
Okay, like that. So the next question is, everybody goes through adversity times when they're a little frustrated in any business. It doesn't even have to be this business, and I hear that from partners all the time. They'll call and, they may be a little down because something didn't go the way they wanted it to. Maybe it didn't grow. It's not growing quite as fast as they wanted out the gate. How do you handle adversity when it comes your way? What do you do?
The self-development, keeping a positive attitude. Like, people want to do business with excited people. Like, look back and say what you did today. Would you want to do business with yourself? Would you want to be a business partner of your own? And like, what steps did you take to make your business grow? And if there's no steps, if it's posting twice a day, like that's bare minimum, but did you send it to Telegram? Did you go back and comment? Did you take the extra steps that really make the difference? And hey, if you feel down, go go listen to somebody positive, go to a podcast, build yourself up, self-talk, whatever comes out of your mouth goes to your brain. So if you're saying, this is hard, I can't, you're telling yourself exactly that. I mean, the when we're little, we have this book that's the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. Well, don't even be that. Be I know I can. I will. I will. I will. And go do it. And tell yourself in the morning, like, I'm a success. I'm a success. I'm a success. Like in the mirror. Feed yourself positivity. So many people have negative self-talk, and 8 out of 10 people will go to the negative instead of the positive. So never ask somebody a question that you can get a negative out of. Like when you're following up with drop people, like, tell me the good news. Some people will say, how's it going? 8 out of 10 people are going to tell you something bad. If they just had a bad day, they're going to lash out on you. Just try to pull out the positive in people, and people are very attracted to positivity, but people are like a magnet to negativity. And once one negative goes down, I can see it all the time. Like people in my business will connect to a person that has negativity, and all of a sudden I see that person's business going down, down, down. And I'm like, man, they had a good thing going. Like you are financially equal to the 5 people you spend the most time with. Like, who are you spending your time with? Is that financially where you want to be in your life? And I do spend time with different people than I did when I started this industry. And a lot of people wanted to pull me back down, pull me back down. And I was not having it. I was like, if you can't cheer me on, it was real disheartening because I thought people were going to be like, yay, I'm so excited. Like, that's awesome that you're going to do something big. And it wasn't like that. And that's okay. Like I just learned to, hey, God has a season for everything. And I started spending my time with different people, and my finances in my life have absolutely changed.
It's funny you mentioned that. That happened to us too. When Amy and I started, we had the same issues came up. The 5 people you spend your time with, and they were, saying some pretty nasty and hurtful things. So we just distanced ourselves and changed our circle, and it made a huge difference. It's not that we don't still love them. We still love those people. We just, our time is spent elsewhere with more positive vibes, I guess. So I love that you said that. And then you said something else that reminded me actually, about a year and a half ago, I was at a convention and Leroy Peralta was there. You know, Leroy had the heart transplant. Yeah, so Leroy was there and we were talking, and it was one of those times we were talking about difficult times, and I didn't even remember I had told him this, but he reminded me this last week. He said, David, you told me a year and a half ago that, you know what, Leroy, I'm going to find a way to make this work. And so I don't know if you know, Susan, but about a year ago, I was one of the ones that started the System of Growth. I went to a convention and came out, and that's where it kind of started, because I just paid attention and listened. And when I came away from that, I knew I needed to grow on social media, and I started coming up with text scripts and then how to make it duplicatable. And then Dr. Crystal and Ashley called me and said, we want to put this on boards, and they ran with it. That's where we are. So absolutely incredible that you brought that up. It just triggered some thoughts in my mind, of some experiences.
And that's the key, is everybody working together. Like Ashley and Crystal put it together. You thought of it. Everybody working together, and everybody brings positivity and greatness to the table. And if somebody is negative, like you said, kind of distance yourself from that. And it's amazing because I've had people go from negativity to positivity, and then their business will start going up, up, up.
Right. So next, I'm gonna ask Sarah to unmute. She's one of my co-hosts tonight, and she had a couple of questions. I think you already answered one. But
You did.
Sarah, can you unmute and
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Miss Susan Frank, let me just tell you something. You're like Partner Co.'s very own book of Proverbs. I love you. I mean, you are fantastic. So anyway, I listened to you on Wednesday night. I listened to the recording, and I know that I've listened to it 2 or 3 times already. It was just phenomenal. It was so good. But I do have a question for you. So we're taught from the get-go to post at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock every day without fail. So my question is that, do you just stick strictly to that, or do you go outside of that? How do you approach other people? Do you stick just strictly to social media, and I know that you had said something about the button. I mean, that draws attention and stuff, but I was just wondering if you did anything else outside of just social media.
Okay, so I've done a couple reels. I've done stories, because different people watch stories, different people watch reels, different people look at posts. So that's different audiences that you can get in front of. Definitely the button, like I have it hooked to my purse. I wear it when I go out, when I go to the kids' field day, when I go eat lunch with the kids, when people take pictures, they can see. I'll post the button, and it says, ask me about skinny drops, definitely. And people see my posts, so when they see me out, sometimes they'll mention, hey, I saw your post, and I go right back to the text scripts. I'm like, here, I'll text you some information.
Okay. Well, and another thing, if you could, I loved what you said the other night about when you plug in, and how, when you hear that nugget, don't just sit there and say, oh, that was a great idea. Implement it right then. I mean, and I'm floored at the fact that, you've been doing this for as long as you have been. You're sitting here a chairman now. You're still learning. I mean, that is so encouraging to me. And the fact that you still take pieces from other people and you implement that still into your daily work. I mean, I just love that.
And that's what life's all about. We're all here to learn and to become better. And that's what I'm always striving for, and how we can help people the best way that we can.
So yeah, I had one other question from another partner that couldn't be on tonight, but she is struggling actually with getting people to jump on a 5-minute call. And you would think that most everybody would, when you say, hey, can you jump on a call? I'll show you how to save some money on your next purchase. But she's getting a lot of, well, I'll just buy them from you right now, maybe later. So what do y'all do to get people to jump on that call? Because the conversion call is where the magic happens. Oh, you muted. I think we're muted.
So I'm wondering, usually if people are having trouble getting people on a call, they're usually talking too much. So saying less is the key. Because some people are wanting to tell them, hey, there's a business, they're telling too much. If they're having trouble, and just pick up the phone and call them, get their number and call them.
I like that. That's just so simple. I feel foolish now because that's so simple. Why didn't I think about this? Hey, I'm just gonna call them. I'm writing that down just so you know. That's great. So, and then the other thing the last thing I have, and then I'll ask Kim if she has anything. I know Susan Cameron's on here. And did you sponsor Susan Cameron? Is that right?
I did.
Right? Okay, so can you, I think I remember correctly, when Susan joined you, she really wasn't interested in business, right? She was interested in product.
Yeah, she told me she wanted the drop. She didn't think they would work. Nothing worked for her. Nothing helped her lose weight. And I was like, oh yeah, they'll help you. And then she's like, yeah, I want nothing to do with the business. And I was like, yeah, you will. And she's like, nah. And so I just let her take the product. Be a great follow-up with people. Let them know you care about them. And I can let Susan share. She's great at telling her story. And we want to know how Kim Gray gets people and your people get people to meetings. That's what we want training on.
Okay, we could
in-person meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the truth. We need that help, guys. Look, we're like, we need that help. That's it. You guys are masters at that for sure. But
So
yeah, that
Susan,
is what Susan did, was followed up with me. I was like, what is this lady calling me? Like, why is she, I was really like, that's interesting because I kind of knew who Susan was. We grew up in the same town and I had heard how successful she was. And I was like, well, maybe there's something to this if she keeps asking me. And sure enough, she was helping me troubleshoot. And it is those things that we don't anticipate to slip into our food. Like I was having almonds, but they had peanut oil in them. I was having a supplement and it had maltodextrin. So one of the things that we recommend and that I've heard Susan do over and over again is she always asks them when she's doing a troubleshooting call, how do you start your day? Because normally they mess up with creamer in the coffee or a protein shake. And then she'll ask them, what supplements are you taking? And she'll have them send them to her. So everybody, I definitely would suggest doing that and then sending those pictures to your upline. If you don't know how to read the labels, I still send stuff to Susan for sure. But nobody thinks they want to do this business. I mean, maybe there's a handful, but 9 times out of 10, they do not think nothing in me thought I wanted to do this business, but obviously everything changed and here we are.
here we are. That's funny you mentioned that because we had that from a lady said the same thing. She didn't either, right? And somebody, I think it may have been Sarah, contacted me today. She was kind of discouraged because somebody that we're real hopeful about said that they weren't interested in the business. They just wanted product. And I reminded Sarah, I'm like, look, that's the same thing Kim Gray said. That's the same thing Susan Cameron said. You know, the list goes on and on. That's the same thing I said. So yeah, I guess it's just a shift in the mindset, about where what they think about the industry, building their belief in the products and all that stuff that carries them down that path to opening up to, hey, this is a good opportunity.
Yeah, and I will say just one more thing, Sarah. I love Sarah. We just recently met and became friends. She's so sweet. She sent me this awesome book that I'm reading. But yeah, Letty's on this call, you guys, the one that I congratulated promoting to officer. And I will say that I have reached out to people. Like I do the attraction marketing and all that. But if I think you would be good, if I think this could really change your health, and I know a lot of people with complex autoimmune issues, like I'm going to reach out and share. And Letty can speak to that a little bit because I don't know. I think I knocked on Letty's door a good 4 or 5 times. Probably she was like, gosh, am I going to get rid of you or what? But I was like, Letty, you need to listen. Letty, I think this could help you. And it just ended up kind of being divine timing to where that door was opened for her to kind of walk through it.
Yeah, nice. So I saw a question from Diane about the algorithms and if missing one day of posting will mess up your algorithms. And I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit about algorithms anyway, but no, missing one day is not going to mess up your algorithms. But how many in here have noticed, if you've noticed this, like drop me a 1 in the chat or something, because I know I saw it, but all of a sudden on your social media feed, all you're seeing are family partners. All their posts are just popping up and you're missing out on everything else. You're just seeing partner code, weight loss, skinny drops. You're seeing all that stuff and it's great stuff to see because you get more ideas, you get more exposure, but that's not all you want to see. And I realized that, I really wasn't getting much traction. My personal sales took a big dip. And so I said, you know what? My algorithm's not working. I kind of realized it. So I did a post. It was so simple. It's like something like, so we get a lot of friends on Facebook and most people don't even say hi or don't speak, just say hi or something. And I said hi is all I said. And it had like 150 comments. Within the next 2 or 3 days, all of a sudden I'm seeing all these posts from other people that I had not been seeing because it opened up my algorithms again. And I actually had to go back and search for skinny drop posts. I had to go, I went to Susan's page so I could find some posts because all of a sudden all the posts I was used to seeing were not there. My algorithms changed that quickly. So, and then I posted some just lifestyle stuff just to keep that building. Susan, you have something you want to say? I keep seeing your camera come on.
with the cat was just getting attacked. I was saying I missed that. What did you say that you did? What did you say hi on?
Okay, so I went to Facebook. I'll see if I can pull up my my actual post. It was so simple. It surprised me that it was so effective. And that goes back to Susan Frank saying, keep it simple. You know, but I did realize that my algorithms weren't working. I was seeing nothing but skinny drop stuff, and I really wasn't getting many sales. So I did this post. It says, it says a lot of people just add people on Facebook and never say hey or even engage in each other's pages. So if you see this, say hi. And at the very top of it, I just said say hi. That was it. It was that simple. And there's 130 comments on there right now, and I followed that up with some lifestyle posts. And I made sure that I went in and I commented to people that said hi. I would go to their page and I would say something on one of their posts. And I started being, I know this is hard to believe, I started being social on social media. And that's what opened my algorithms back up. So that's my tip for that for tonight. So Diane, I'm glad you mentioned it because I did want to bring that out, and that was good timing. So that helped, Susan?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Kim, did you have any questions for them before we ask them about what they want to learn from us?
Yes. Well, you guys, I met Susan Cameron on our Bahama trip. And the first thing she told me was she got people to do a 30-pack of drops. Well, I've been in this business for 5 years and I don't know that we have a 30-pack of drops. And I looked at her and I said, 30-pack of drops? She said, yeah, girl, 3 10-pack. They don't know the difference. So I would like for her to share real quick before I go to Susan Frank of how she talks to these people and gets them to sign up with a 30-pack of drops. Because you guys, guess what? I did it this weekend and I done talked to Susan Cameron. I did what she told me to do and it was smooth sailing. So
Well, I
share-
think Kim, you should tell them what you did, girl. I think you got 3 ultimates this weekend. You might have something to share with us.
I have gotten 3 ultimates, but this particular woman, this is what I told her, word for word that you said. I said, if you're wanting to do this as a business, then you can buy a 30-pack of drops and it would be about $2,400. But when you sold those 30 packs at $150, you're going to make that plus $1,650 back. And I said, then you're getting ultimate. And so you're hitting 2 stones with one. And she said, sign me up with a 30-pack of drops. So when I went in, I thought about Susan Cameron when I had to hit 3 times of the 10-pack because I thought we had a 30-pack of drops. But that was what Susan had taught me while we were in Bahamas. So Susan, if you would like to comment on what you taught me, but that's what I learned from you in Bahamas, and I did it and it worked.
Yeah, and of course, you guys, I'm just doing exactly what Susan Frank taught me to do. But yeah, I just go into it with we go into it with the expectation if they're really wanting to create an income for themselves, they want to create a business, they want to get serious, and our team sells the drops for a little bit higher, so that commission on that 30 boxes is more close to $2,000. So the return on investment's incredible. So I just kind of ask them what their financial goals are, what their first financial goal would be. And I try to align that 30-pack kind of closer to that. Because normally you find that somebody's initial goal is, somewhere between $500 to $5,000. A lot of times $2,000 is what we see. But everything's also in mindset and your beliefs. So whatever you believe is really what's going to create your reality. So if you believe that the only people you can attract is a bunch of 4-packs, that's literally what you're going to get day in and day out. But if you believe that this is a great opportunity and that, and you've even seen people come in and, they sell out of their 10-pack in 3 days. So a lot of times people don't want to turn around and reorder. So I think it is a lot about mindset and being able to paint a vision for them, like bigger than what they can see for themselves. What else do you have to add to that, Susan?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And when you're talking about purchasing a business, like most business owners, it cost my husband 6 figures to start his business. So that's not a huge investment. A lot of people that are employees, I mean, even me as a nurse, like people say, well, I didn't have to pay for my job. Well, I did. I paid for 4 years of college to have a degree before they would even hire me to do that. So it's all about how you look at things. And being that we can turn it to a profit that quickly is incredible.
Okay, and now my questions to Susan Frank. I got to be with her in Bahamas and Tahiti, and what I got from her is she told me, Kim, never take no for an answer. If people tells you no, that might be just for that time. Do not stop with them. Keep going after. And again, this past weekend, someone had already told me no 3 times, but guess what? The timing was right, guys. I went back to them and they signed up. They said the timing was right. So I would like for Susan Frank to share with what she meant when she told me in Tahiti, Kim, never take no for an answer.
The key to me is caring is sharing, sharing is caring. And I really want to through this business, and I love Kim and Sarah. I love your energy, and Susan's done amazing. I know Letty didn't want to do it, and she's doing amazing. Just hit officer, but just letting people know, hey, I care about you. And every time you follow up with them, it doesn't have to be about this business. It can be about life, or if they have a death in the family, like taking them food and say, just caring, and then follow up with them like, hey, is it a good time? Do you have health goals? How's life going? And the minute they say a negative, you hit them with a positive, because at the end of the day, people want to feel their best. They want hormone balance, they want energy, and they want money, whether if it's for kids college, whether if they want to stay at home with their kids, if they just need side gig money, if they just want to earn a car payment. Like, why not help them get there? And they don't see what we see. If they've never seen this business, they don't understand. They don't even know what they're saying no to. So don't think they don't want what I have. They don't even know. So don't get offended. Don't start playing 9 games that they don't want. They don't even know. So just get them at the right time, get an appointment and show them, and just keep following up. Like I said earlier, the 5th time of follow up is most of the time when you win. And most people don't even follow up once. The fortune is in the follow up, and it's following up and following up and following up.
And you guys, I'm going to leave you with this before I turn it back over with David. And I know, coming from where I used to come from, not having no money, I love it when somebody looks at me and tells me I can't afford it. Because if you can't afford these drops to get better, have your health better, or to make more money for your family, if you don't have that $150, that's a good enough reason to start. Even if you have to pre-order, or be a host of the post, or get out here and try. There is no excuse for no one that they cannot get out here and post, because there's somebody in this world that that needs to get healthy or needs to make money. There's no excuse in the world that you cannot find nobody. Okay, David.
So I noticed there was so much hustle, so much energy in everything that was said. But I'm gonna move it now to what y'all are asking, Susan. Y'all are asking about how we get people to meetings. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we do a couple of things. I'll talk about one, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Erin, who's over at close to Dothan, Alabama, because she's come in and been on fire with that as well. But our approaches are different. So I had the first meeting that I had that was really big was just timing and luck on my part. I had about 120 people show up to that meeting. It was not a super Saturday. It was a regular Thursday night meeting. But we rented out a local restaurant, and we actually catered that restaurant that night because we were coming out of COVID and we just thought it was a good opportunity. And people were just itching to get out and do something. So we filled the restaurant. But most of the time we don't do that. That was a special occasion. So moving forward, after the system of growth started and we had all these customers, we decided we would host a customer appreciation event, but we waited until we had a team of people selling drops in a local area. So let's say we had 10 partners all selling drops in our county, and we had customers that were having good success but had not approached us yet about a second box. So we probably had 200 customers at least, you know. And so we set up a customer appreciation. We sent them all personal invites. We did not post it on social media and just try to drag a net and snag who we could. This was purpose driven. You know, we intentionally sent it, like I would say, hey, Susan, I really appreciate you purchasing these drops from me, and I'm so happy you're having success. We're having a customer appreciation this next Thursday at 6:30 at the Chamber of Commerce. Since you bought from me, I would love it if you would come. And if you do, I will have you a special gift there. Just let me know if you can make it. That was my invite. It was personal. It was directly directed to somebody. That's what I did. That's what Susan did. That's what everybody did. We taught everybody to make that invite personal. And when we got there that night, we had, and the gift was just a grab bag, just something real small. And it had like MOA, a thing of MOA, a thing of Renew, maybe Elite, and some Rejuvenix in it. You know, so it really wasn't anything elaborate, and we all divided it out amongst our team to divide up the cost. And that night we had 50 something people show up. And over the course of the next week, all of them joined us except for one. And the one that didn't join is still a comment. Somebody's on a whiteboard here. Sorry. But so yeah, everybody joined but one, and that one's still a customer. So that's how we get a lot of people to those, the customer appreciations. And then I'll turn it over to Erin, because Erin, she's fairly new with us, within like 6 or 7 weeks. But every time we go over to Dothan, they put a lot of people in a room with us, and they haven't done really a customer appreciation yet. It's more on the excitement, I think, of the teams they're building and the products and their effectiveness. So Erin, can you unmute and share a little bit about how you invite?
Well, I mean, really, I just do exactly what you were just talking about. We send personal invites, you know, we do the Canva flyer, of course, but we word it to, you know, let them know, hey, we're going to have a health and wellness social. We'd love for, you know, you to come and check it out. And there's going to be other people there who have been on the products, and they're going to be telling their story. And there's just so much great information. And we just are excited, of course, in our messages and when we talk to them. And the last one that you came to, I had gone into a jewelry store. A lady had bought, somebody's husband had said, hey, you need to try these drops that my wife is on. And so they called me and said, hey, can you bring some drops up here? So I did, and went in there, and I said, oh, we're having a health and wellness social tonight. We'd love for you to come. And she showed up, and she was excited, and was trying to get other people to come with her. So excitement and making it personal.
So yeah, Susan, so one of the big things I think is we make it personal. It's a personal invite to everybody. We learned that, you know, a couple of years ago, that if you just threw it out on social media, you know, people just didn't show up. And then the other thing is we changed the wording. We used to say, a presentation or a meeting or something like that, and nobody would come. So we changed the wording to like a health and wellness social or drop talk or something a little bit more catchy. And it just didn't seem like it was such, because when people get off work, they don't want to go to another meeting or presentation. So we just kind of changed the verbiage to something that may be a little bit more attractive, if that makes sense. So do y'all have, does that answer your questions, or you have anything else?
So are you picking up the phone and personally calling them?
I do on sometimes. I will send them, a lot of my stuff is actually over Messenger, because when I first started, Susan, I was really good at in person. I could talk to somebody, I could steer the conversation to figure out if I had a product that would help them, and I could get me a customer really quick. But I realized that I was lacking in social media. So once we started this system and social media exploded, that changed. I do everything over Facebook Messenger. But if I do have the person's contact in my phone, like if I'm pretty good friends with them and I have that information, I will absolutely reach out and call them before I do a message like that. And then the other thing we do is, we'll tell them once we get that RSVP, if they say they're coming to one of our events, we say, hey, that's great. I'm so glad you're going to be there. Listen, if you'll bring a friend with you, we'll enter you in a drawing for a free product. And so we always have a drawing for a free product for people that brought a guest. So it's just built around that excitement, and it seems to be working. Every time we have meetings, we tend to have a good group of people there. So Kim, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I'm fine.
So how long are you guys scheduling those meetings out? Like how long are you scheduling them out? Are you calling them customer meetings? Are you inviting mostly market partners? Who are you inviting and how far out are you scheduling?
Okay, so for the most part, they're scheduled out probably a week and a half to 2 weeks in advance. Not many are too much longer than that. There's a few that may be 3 weeks out, but for the most part, they're not that far out. I mean, we'll be pre-planning. We'll be thinking, like for instance, I'm working with Aaron now on setting up another meeting over in the Dothan area. And we already know, we started this at the the end of last week. So we already know it's going to be this coming up week. So we were a week and a half out there on that meeting. And again, we're gonna call it, we're gonna invite customers for sure, or anybody that may reach out and say, that they're interested but haven't purchased or made that decision. We'll invite them as well. We'll say, hey, you know what? We're having a drop talk tonight at this location. Why don't you come join us? You'll hear from people that are having results, and if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer them. So that's kind of how we handled it. I don't think any of ours have been more than 2 weeks out, except for our customer appreciation was about 3 weeks out, because there were so many people involved, we had to build it out a little bit more.
Now I have got 4 legs, Susan. So I'm rotating. 1 week I'm with David. 1 week I'm with my Birmingham. 1 week I'm with my Coleman in Huntsville. I'm rotating it. Like I called David just today, and I said, okay, when I come back from vacation, that week is going to be yours. Until I have to go to Panama City for Super Saturday on the 22nd. So he said, okay, I'm getting busy. He knows, because then after the 22nd, that following week, I'm going to be in Birmingham from Tuesday to Saturday. So, and then I come back, and then I'll be David's. That's both of my legs. And then I go to the next leg. So I'm always busy.
And what is the format of your meetings run? What do those look like?
My meetings? What do you mean how they run?
Like when you get there, how long does people stand around and talk, and how long do you, I mean, what does the hostess need to plan to be prepared? Because I know a lot of people on this call tonight from our team haven't hosted one of these before. So what should their expectation kind of be?
When I go to a launch party, the host, they'll have very light refreshments, very, very light. I mean, it may be a bottle of water, it may be some fruit, even that. Some of these women have started making the brownies out of the cocoa boost or the power boost. So, but then when they'll get up and they'll open, and immediately, probably 2 minutes, they open. They say, "I want to welcome Kim Gray." And then I immediately start with my presentation. My presentation is 25 minutes long. I do it, and then we have questions and answers. After then, I am you, and really, I don't do questions and answers. I do not open the floor for questions and answers. I say after the meeting's over, if you have a question, you can feel free to come to me, and I will answer your questions. I learned from Todd and Ashley, do not open the floor up, because somebody may ask you a question that is not a good question. So you don't want other people to hear it. They may be having problems with something. So you don't want everybody else to hear that. So usually I say when it's over, I'm available to anybody that would like to answer questions. And then I say, get back with who invited you. You can be a customer, or we can sign you up as a brand partner. And immediately, my hostess stands up and walks around and sees if people needs help. I am literally packing my bag, because my job is over. It's up to my leaders then to step up and do their job. I will bring the presentation, but my leaders then has to go to work.
So let me add to that, Kim. What we do typically when we go to our presentations, we'll spend 20, 30 minutes just standing around talking and getting to know each other. And then we have the host stand up and start the meeting. They'll stand up and just talk a little bit from the heart about their journey and why they're involved with the drops and their success maybe. And then they will introduce the speaker. If it's me, they'll introduce me, and I'll come up and I'll do a presentation. But as a person doing the presenting, I've learned if you can get people kind of laughing or a dialogue going back and forth, they loosen up and there's a more relaxed environment. So that's one of the first things I start out in my presentations trying to do, is to create that atmosphere. And then we'll go through the presentation. It's not very long, 20, 25 minutes, as Kim said. And then we close, we hand it right back over to the host, and the host will close us out, and then we'll move it immediately to the host helping the people in the room. And then I will go around and mix and mingle and help people. And like Kim says, she's gone if she's a speaker, because she's busy. But I stay, I'm invested, and I'm helping enroll people, answer questions, pick what they want to join with. If they're thinking about different products, we may be there another hour or two getting it all figured out, but we just spend the time and do it.
Just remember this, another thing that you can take to the bank from Susan Frank, let it be simple. Just be simple, very easy, simple, and be through with it. And that's what I learned from them. And let me tell you something, it works, because I have had more people this weekend, because I had 6 big, huge meetings with people sitting in the living room, 20, 25, 30 people. And they tell me, I like it because it was quick, easy, you were slow and presenting it, and I learned from it. So just be simple.
Yep. So y'all, that was good. Y'all have any more questions for us, Susan? Either
Well,
Susan?
anything you want to tell us, like we're always wanting to learn.
Well, y'all are the masters at it. We're just
Whatever
hanging on to
y'all
your
got to share.
coattails. So y'all, is a great Zoom. Hey, I will get the recording out for this. Let me go and stop the recording. There we go.